What's up, YouTube? Scott here. Just checking in. It's Thursday. I'm still trying to keep my promise of doing my daily dose. I will likely miss some days here and there, but I'm really trying hard to getting YouTube into my routine, as well as Medium. I'll post a link into my Medium account because yeah, I just have this goal. I want to start putting on some content and hopefully connecting with some of you guys and girls and on interesting topics and share some viewpoints and hopefully make the world a better place. Right? That's what it's all about. And hopefully share some cool stuff with you guys and things that I find interesting and maybe some things that I know that you are trying to learn and vice versa. Right? So that's what this is all about. And well, I didn't come across too much interesting stuff that I wanted to share or that I could share today. I actually just got off the phone with an old friend of mine who I've known for about 10 years, who started, we met in college freshman year and became really close friends, and both studied business and both kind of went into corporate. I went into trading, and he actually worked for one of the big tech giants out on the West Coast, and super bright guy. And we just kind of talked about our journey of becoming developers, because he and I are both self-taught and now work full-time as software engineers, and sort of how we approach this and what we like about it, and what some of the hurdles have been, and about how grateful he and I both are and continue to be, for people who are putting out such great content. And I think really that's what inspired me to say, hey, I want to start throwing out some stuff, is because I've learned so much from people out there. If any of you guys who's listening puts out a ton of content and around anything, just thanks for doing that. There's people out there who are trying to learn stuff, and they might come across your articles. You might help them get to the next level. So that's really cool. So keep it up, and that's what I'm trying to do here. But yeah, one of the things I did want to share is I came across this really cool article on The Verge today. I'll post a link in the description in the comments, and it just talked about how. So, I guess I should take a step back in the world of trading. If you ever read anything or worked as a trader, or watched the show Billions or something like that, right? Like there's a lot of talk about like insider trading, and you hear it with politicians and even internally in a company, whether it's CEOs or high level executives that are using internal information to get a head start on certain investments, to reap a lot of money and hopefully go unnoticed. So I found this article extremely interesting because it was at the intersection of technology, especially cybersecurity, which is a big interest of mine, as well as trading and finance. And so basically what this article talks about is just is this sort of network of hackers in Eastern Europe that started hacking different news agencies and news networks to get access to sensitive information prior to release, which from just an overarching standpoint, like it's genius, right? I mean, because generally what happens is you have a business will issue a press release, and they usually will coordinate with trusted news sources, to give that article and put it in the hands and maybe get it reviewed and get it sanctioned, and so then then it will be released upon a specific time. A lot of times companies, startups or public will basically talk to their trusted news sources and say, hey, listen, like I want we need this to go live at 8 a.m. Monday morning, London time. And so for this period of maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, or 12 hours, whatever it may be, this document is sitting, this document highlighting this massive piece of news, right, is sitting on a server that's being guarded by this news agency. So of course, as a hacker, you kind of look at this whole chain of security, and you're going to try and find the weakest link, right? So while it might be like really hard to hack into a company, because they're actively protecting their assets, they have now taken one of their like really important assets, which is information about actions of the company, and have placed it in a much less secure infrastructure that is the server of some random news agency, right? So these hackers, basically in this article, it describes how these hackers have created a scheme where they were actively hacking, hacking into these news agencies, stealing information, press releases, sharing those with traders in the U.S. and elsewhere for a cut of the profits and the trading profits that these traders would generate. And so I just thought that in a way it's really fucked up, and obviously this is something that should not happen. It should be forbidden, because insider trading is insider trading. It's but at the same time, I found it extremely intriguing because it is genius in a way how they went about it, and decided to take insider trading. I guess how they morphed insider trading into this thing where cybersecurity kind of comes into play, and hacking news agencies from far away. Like it's just an interesting twist on something that we generally get to know as like insider trading, somebody actually directly talking to someone. And of course, it's trivial. Like, and nowadays, most attacks happen over the internet. So this is obviously not anything new. I just thought it was a really, really well-written article. It's long. I didn't read the whole thing. I kind of just looked at the first half, but I got enough of it where I said, okay, this was a cool story. So if you guys like long form articles, this is definitely one that I would suggest. Like I said, I'll put the link in the comments. And then, like I said in my video yesterday, currently I'm reading Walter Isaacson's Innovators, which kind of talks about the history of technology, all the way from the early 19th century to today, the different players, and because I just started the book, I'm kind of like in this beginning phase where we're talking about sort of the earliest forms of computers, and this woman by the name of Ada Lovelace was an English mathematician, and she's often sort of called, and you might have run across her if you were into computer science. You might have seen her name pop up in some of the computer science books. She's referenced here and there as sort of the first computer programmer, as you will see here as well. But it's just really cool to kind of see, like, we live in such a modern world nowadays, and just to imagine and fathom that it all kind of began at some point, right? Like at some point, somebody made the first invention. Somebody had like the first inklings of like, hey, how can we make these simple calculations be done programmatically, or done? I guess, well, in this case, it's more so done by like physically, like physical machines, like they're like levers and tubes, right? That are moving, and it's not very energy efficient. It's not fast, but these types of visionaries that really kind of were in a way a century before their time in terms of thinking about what the future could look like, and we're just limited by the technology, but not by their spirit. So again, that's really, really kind of cool book, and looking forward to reading the rest of it. Hopefully I can get some quality reading time this weekend. And then another thing I also came across today was this chart I just kind of play around with a little bit, but it basically shows debt outstanding for various different companies in the world, and the maturity, and so you can kind of hover over them and say, okay, like these are companies and their debt that's coming due. And I think one of these actually, like right here, is Tesla, for example, right? Since we talked about Tesla yesterday, but it's crazy to see, like, and there's a ton of Chinese companies in here too, right? It's like predominantly like this whole portion of here. I think most of these companies are Chinese. And it's just kind of crazy to see like how much money companies put on their balance sheets in order to grow, and how much lenders are willing to give companies. It's like these numbers are staggering, because Tesla has a huge amount of debt on their balance sheet, right? They've taken out quite a number of loans, yet they're just tiny little bubble. So another thing to check out. I'll also put on links, but yeah, that's really it for today. Want to continue getting the habit of posting, and hopefully if someone listens to this, like, shoot me a comment, follow me, be the first subscriber, and let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about. That's why I'm doing this, and I kind of want to take this, want to figure out what direction I want to take this, but hopefully make it fun and provide some value to you guys. So yeah, take care.